Hello family, look at this crazy thing we're going to make today. I'm going to share with you this healthy and super nutritious treat for the afternoons. Today we're going to make some creamy coconut and crunchy chocolate bars at home. They're a bit inspired by my childhood, by some coconut bars I used to eat in Chewy that we brought from Chewy. They were very famous. By the way, some of you might remember the famous It Cocoa bars, the ones that were crunchy when you bit into them and then kind of melted in your mouth. I'm making some variations so they turn out crunchier, with an original touch. I really liked how they turned out, honestly, but they're inspired by those bars. Of course, they don't have any of that junk they put in industrial bars or those things they make with products we don't even know what's in them. It doesn't have flour, it doesn't have refined sugar, and it has only ingredients that nourish us and are good for us. So it's not just a treat, it's premium fuel for your body and your brain. Get ready, make yourself comfortable, and here we go. Before we go to the kitchen, I want you to understand, why is eating this good for you from a biological point of view? When you eat an ultra-processed candy, your body receives refined sugar that inflames your intestines and causes a very high glucose spike. After 20 minutes, your insulin rises and then your sugar drops sharply. You feel sleepy, heavy, and more anxious, and you want to eat more and more of these kinds of sweets. This bar works great, exactly the opposite. It's scientifically designed based on the concept of nutrient density and smart fats. That's why what you'll feel when you eat it is this: immediate mental clarity. Your brain is mostly fat. By giving it medium-chain fat, you activate your mitochondria, the powerhouses, the energy centers of your cells. And that's why, goodbye brain fog. It really switches off anxiety. The brain is always looking for sugar. Why? Because it's looking for quick energy. When you give it this combination of coconut, almonds, cocoa, and nuts, the body registers real satiety in the hypothalamus. And that signal of compulsive hunger turns off. Intestinal protection. It doesn't have additives or artificial gums that destroy your microbiota. It's soothing and easy to digest. But before we go to the recipe, let's break down the medicine in each ingredient we're going to use. Grated coconut and coconut oil. They are rich in lauric acid and medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs. These fats don't go through the liver to be stored. They go straight to becoming energy for your muscles and your mind. Almonds, our base for making the cream. It provides vitamin E, antioxidants that help keep your skin youthful, plant-based calcium, and protein so digestion stays gradual and smooth. Pure honey provides live enzymes, clean energy that, when combined with the fiber from coconut and the fat from almonds, is absorbed slowly without affecting your pancreas. Chocolate that's 70% cacao or higher. You can use 80% as well. It contains flavonoids to protect the heart and tryptophan, the amino acid your body uses to make serotonin, which we already know is a hormone that helps us stay calm and puts us in a good mood. The nuts and salted peanuts that we're going to use to top these bars provide us with omega-3s, which are excellent for our neurons. And believe it or not, the salted peanuts on the outside serve a key scientific function. The clash of sodium from the salt with the sweetness breaks the palate's craving circuit and enhances the flavors in a way that blows our minds. Let's get to the recipe. For this recipe, we're going to use 90 grams of almonds, and we can make it in two ways. One way is to soak them the night before and use them already activated and soft. You can even remove the skin if you like. In this case, I'll make a recipe with what we bought today and use the skin to get more fiber. So we have 90 grams of almonds, which is half a cup. We're going to blend them. And we're going to turn them into flour. To this flour we've made here, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. What I did, since it's very cold right now, is put it in hot water to soften it a little, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons. As you saw, they're 2 generous tablespoons since that's what gives it the consistency. What we're doing here is making the creamy filling inside this famous bonbon. But instead of making it with condensed milk or store-bought coconut creams, we're going to make a homemade cream that has good nutritional value. And now we're going to add hot water, but we'll do it little by little. First we add 3. 1. 2, very good. Okay, and now we're going to add organic honey. If possible, make sure it's organic without added sugar and preferably from a local producer, so we know what we're eating is real honey. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of this. I've read comments sometimes saying that organic honey doesn't crystallize. That's a big mistake. Yes, that's actually one of the signs that it's good honey, that it crystallizes. Two tablespoons of honey, and now we blend it all together. In a bowl, now we're going to put about 170 grams of coconut, which is 1.5 cups. As you can see, this coconut, see? It has this texture, like it forms little balls. That's a very good sign that it's good coconut, because lately, at least here in Argentina, they've been selling us coconut that's already been pressed. They've already taken out the oil. So it's a dry coconut, and you can't really do anything with it, and it really lacks its nutritional value. Right? You'll see that this coconut, as you can see, kind of sticks together. That means it has oil. Besides, it will have a very good coconut aroma. Now let's take out what we've prepared. Okay, what we prepared, now we pour it over the coconut. Alright, and let's mix patiently, because here we'll see if it needs a little more water. So for that, what I do is mix like this. And once I've more or less covered everything with the coconut, so I won't get as messy, with clean hands, of course, really clean, I start mixing the dough. And I keep mixing. And I don't add water until I'm sure, because that's the thing with coconut, right? It gets hydrated as we mix, but it doesn't hydrate instantly, it takes a little while. So if we add water too quickly, we might overdo it. See, when we notice that we can do this and it holds together, that's when it has just the right amount of water. Perfect, very good. Okay, now we make it kind of compact like this. And just like this, we're going to put it in the fridge for about 15 to 20 minutes so the coconut oil can set. In the meantime, we're going to chop the chocolate that we'll use for the coating. Here we have 150 grams of 70% chocolate, which I'm going to chop. But also set aside a handful of salted peanuts and a handful of walnuts. This is about 20 grams. We're going to chop it up finely and sprinkle it on top. It's going to give it an amazing touch, especially because of the salted peanuts. Okay, here we already have 150 grams of 70% chocolate chopped up, and we set it aside to prepare the double boiler. But first, we're going to assemble the bars. The 15 minutes in the fridge are already up. Okay, it's already been in the fridge. And you'll see that it's more compact now, so we can make the bars. And you can make them whatever size you like. I'm going to try to make them all about the same size. This is parchment paper or baking paper. It helps us to shape them. Mine turned out a bit longer. Well, I like them better this way. Now I'm going to make them all like this. I like them better this way. And these last two, just a little bit smaller, but they're so pretty. I'm going to put a little board underneath this and I'm going to put it in the fridge for a few more minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to set up the double boiler for the chocolate before coating the bars. Let's chop the 2 handfuls of walnuts and salted peanuts. That way, we'll have them ready. You need to work quickly while the chocolate is hot. There we go, it's just enough to sprinkle on top. There it starts to melt slowly. Never use too much heat so the chocolate doesn't burn. If the water starts to boil, you have to turn it off really quickly. There it is, completely melted. We're going to add, just like that, a little bit of coconut oil. That's fine. This is going to make it a little lighter. Alright, the whole team is here. Here's the chocolate. And here are the bars. And here, to dry, we took a bar and dipped it in the chocolate. We turn it around. Let it drip a little bit. Oh, oof. There. We drizzle it on top. That. And then if you want, you can drizzle a few thin lines of chocolate on top. And you can add a second layer. Well, and if you're thrifty like me, I add raisins to the leftover chocolate because I feel bad throwing it away. So I end up with some chocolate covered raisins. Nothing goes to waste. Like this. Look at what's left over. All of this is spotless, clean, it fell on the paper. Damn it. Ta-da. Nothing is wasted. You can't imagine how tasty this is. After these dry, you put them in the fridge for a little while. They turn out amazing. Here they are ready. We just took them out of the fridge and I put a doily under them. And you see how they stay nice and compact. They're beautiful. And now comes the ugly part of every video, which is tasting this. Let's see how it turned out. Good heavens. Honestly, it's very similar to It Coco, but a healthier version. Look. Let's see if you can see this creamy filling. Delicious. Well, I'll continue. How should you eat it and how much so it's beneficial and not excessive? Since this is a real and concentrated food, the ideal is to eat half a bar during the day or a small bar. It depends on the size you made. Half of one of the bars we made, for example, or one of the small bars is enough. What are the strategic times of the day to eat it? For me, the ideal is always to eat a sweet after lunch. And the lunch should have a good amount of protein, fats, and vegetables. Of course, it should be a real lunch. I'm not talking about having pizza for lunch and then eating a bar, which would be a trigger. But rather eating a good lunch with protein, with fat, and with vegetables, for example. And then yes, you eat half a bar after lunch. It's also ideal for when you feel your energy dropping in the afternoon, when your brain is craving something sweet. In these moments, it's perfect to eat something like this. Because by satisfying your sweet tooth and everything I explained before, it will make you feel full, and with just a little bit you'll feel satisfied. And you'll also satisfy that sweet craving. And we're still nourishing ourselves. I mean, it's better than eating a pack of cookies or one of those supermarket bars filled with who knows what. And chocolate is more fat than chocolate, and more sugar and fat than chocolate. By replacing them with this type of food, that's where the real benefit lies. Because they contain healthy fats and protein, they'll help sustain that energy throughout the day. And you won't get those violent spikes caused by ultra-processed products or those where we can't even name what's inside them. Another ideal time to eat it is before exercising. Having a small piece before you go, for example, for a run, a walk, or some exercise, it's fantastic. The sugars from honey and the fat from coconut are the perfect fuel that your muscles will burn instantly, improving your physical performance. Sometimes eating healthy doesn't have to be boring or a sacrifice. We can enjoy ourselves if we're not really sick, we don't have to do anything. If we want to eat better, instead of buying those things that really don't even have flavor anymore, the ones we buy at supermarkets and stores. The candies we can get there, we can make ourselves treats with real foods that actually nourish us. So in reality, our body doesn't need to eat a whole package or 7 bars to feel satisfied. Because you'll only eat a little and not only feel satisfied but also happy, because cacao and all of this help us a lot with serotonin, so it's going to serve a double purpose. Making these bars at home, sharing them with the kids, with the little ones, with the family, has something magical, what home gives us. Cooking at home. If you make them, let me know in the comments if they aren't better than store-bought candy. As always, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, give a thumbs up if you like this video, and share it. My name is Danay Aguilar. If you want to connect more deeply with your body, mind and spirit, join me on my other channel, Portal Coherencia. I'll leave a little card here so you can go check it out. And I invite you to watch my previous video about healthy treats, where I show you how to make a bar, and I'll leave it here for you. It's the bar we made last week. And I'll also leave here the bonbon version, which is delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. See you next time.